Hello everyone and welcome back to Frankie's Cantonese Book Reviews. The book I'm going to be reviewing today is Colloquial Cantonese, The Complete Course for Beginners by Dana Scott Bourgerie, Keith S.T. Tong, and Gregory James. This is the 2010 edition of the textbook. It was originally published back in 1994. This is the second edition. There are two 2010 editions, and then the book was recently reprinted again in 2015. The only difference between the 2010 and the 2015 edition is the packaging. They no longer sell the book with the audio CDs, so basically the only difference is the corner here. This one says new edition, another one says MP3s online, another one says new audio or something like that. So any edition that has this cover, 2010 and onward, are identical. The audio is for free online. I'll post a link in the description. You can have a listen to that, and there you have it. This edition was revised by Professor Bourgerie. Professor Bourgerie earned his PhD in East Asian languages from the University of Ohio back in the 1990s. Right now he teaches at Brigham Young University. He did a good job revising this textbook, I would say. From what I remember from the old edition, there were some awkward things in there, and he cleaned them up and moved stuff around and made it a better book. So let's talk about the book. The book uses the 6-tone Yale Cantonese romanization system. The Yale Cantonese romanization system, I believe, is the most intuitive for native English speakers. So native English speakers will have very little difficulty being able to pronounce Cantonese words using this system. There is about a 10-page introduction in the front of the textbook that tells you how to pronounce things in the Yale system. For example, L-O is pronounced as lo, you say? No. In Cantonese, Yale Cantonese is pronounced as law. Lo is L-O-U. That's just one example. If you're unfamiliar with the system, the romanization system, how to pronounce these words, then you're going to make that mistake. So after you've read the first 10 pages of the textbook, you won't make those mistakes, and you'll be able to take full advantage of this textbook. The book is broken up into 15 chapters. The chapters have exercises, dialogues, thorough grammatical explanations, and they explain particles, and it's just excellent. I think this textbook is probably one of the best Cantonese textbooks on the market, considering the price and the amount of information that it contains. Now, that doesn't mean it's perfect. One of the downsides of this textbook is that it's basically there's no Chinese characters in it at all. So if you have a native speaker friend and you're like, hey, Wing, can you please read this dialogue to me? He's going to look at the English lettering and be like, no. Because native Cantonese speakers, cannot read romanization. They can only read characters for the most part. So if you're looking for a textbook that has Cantonese characters, this isn't the textbook for you. Again, I wouldn't go so far. Just hear me out. This is a good textbook regardless, even though it doesn't have Cantonese characters. I would say that once you've learned everything that's in this textbook, you can go back and write the characters in yourself. Because it's just such a good textbook. It just goes at such a really nice and steady pace. It has lots of really useful vocabulary, dialogues that make sense, grammatical explanations that really tell you how and why and when to use these different particles, these different characters, these different phrases and stuff like that. It's just, this is my favorite Cantonese textbook. I've been waiting so long to do this book review, but I haven't had a paper copy of the textbook. I just recently got it. I don't know if I already said this, but I paid $30 for this book on Amazon. And this is the older edition, but again, it's identical to the 2015 edition. So anywhere you can find this textbook, eBay, Amazon, some books fair, some bookstores going out of business and they have extra books. Any way you can find this textbook, as long as it has this cover, snatch it up. Because in comparison to the PDF or the online, the PDF edition, the PDF version, you can find the PDF edition online. You can buy it online. You can find it online if you look hard enough, I suppose. Having a paper book, holding it in your hands, being able to carry it on the train, and being able to write in it and highlight, it's like you can feel the book. You can feel the words. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. I like PDFs too. PDFs are good if you're on the train. You gotta look at, I'm using my phone. I'm like, okay, let me, read my book. But having the book itself is good too. Let's talk about some of the negative things about this book. Okay, so I already talked about how it doesn't have Chinese characters. That's a bummer. but also there are some errors in the book. Now, I've been in contact with the author, and he knows there are errors, but, you know, they just don't want to make a new edition. A lot of publishers are like that. They don't want to take the time to go through and say, okay, well, there are these errors, let's republish. They just don't care. It's not just, you know, whatever company published this textbook. It's not just this company. They're all like that. I would say almost, except for one Cantonese textbook that I've read, all have errors. This one, what are the errors? They have a few tonal errors. They have a few romanization errors. They have a few English translations that aren't quite right. They're not quite the way that I would translate it. What else? I would say that generally speaking, this book is just really, really good. Its explanations are great. I highlighted some things to make it more clear for when I read it and for when my students read it. I've been using this book with my students for the past 5 years. It's just awesome. I've used a lot of textbooks. I've used this. I've used Complete Cantonese. I've used Sydney Lau, and it just seems that this is the one that the students end up liking the most. Again, if you have this version, you can buy the paperback. If you have the PDF, you can print out like one chapter and bring it with you on the train. You can write on it. You know, I just really highly recommend this book. I think this is the best Cantonese book that's on the market right now for the price and the quality and the amount of information that it contains. Please go out and buy it. You definitely won't regret it. So that is Colloquial Cantonese, the complete course for beginners by Dana Scott Bourgerie, Keith S.D. Tong, and Gregory James. I'll post a link in the description where you can buy it on Amazon. I think it's around $55, $60, which is a little expensive, but again, it's a really good textbook. I think it's worth it. The authors deserve your money because they put a lot of time into editing the textbook, so definitely go out and get it. If you like my review, please give me a thumbs up. If you have a question, post it in the comments. I always reply to the questions posted in the comments. And feel free to view any more of my Cantonese book reviews on YouTube. I'd appreciate it a lot. So thank you all very much, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye-bye.